pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Do we have any new board members? We do. Abby Bagley from Newport. Anyone else? Me? Oh, Alyssa. See, I'm used to Alyssa being here. Alyssa Worcester from St. Albans. And we may have another couple of one or two before the season is over. So welcome. Any questions you have or anything, you can send me an email or Mike, we'll get the answers.
And we'll do an orientation, we hope, so together once we get a couple of them.
Moving along to adjustments to the agenda.
New business 7, staff resignations, that's Scott Carlett as tech, special ed 3 at EDS, staff transfers, Gene Rowell, server at Nokomis Regional High Middle School to server at Tabasco Valley Middle School. Monique Osborne, cook to server at Middle High School.
At this time, approval of minutes of the February 11th meeting.
So, second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Those opposed? It passes. Moving down to public comment. If there is anybody in the audience that would like to address the board, this is the time to do so. We do ask you to let us know who you are and where, what town you live in. I think we're all set with that. Moving on to reading of communications. I believe there's
Administrative one.
superintendent.
It's a very brief report. As you know, we're right in the middle of budget season right now, so we meet almost every Monday going through the certain parts of the budget. So if you want to hear about a certain part, feel free to keep looking at everyone's updates on Mondays. Next week it's middle school and high school on Tuesday, I think, and the elementary schools on Monday.
Yep.
Yesterday I was at a career fair up in Farmington. Again, I think I'll repeat myself, but it's very bizarre right now because the teachers come out. I think they have in service in the morning, and then they come see all the different districts, and probably 30 districts, I guess, set up. And they come through, and they really only go to the place they want to be. And a lot of times it's Portland, they want to stay up in that area. Somehow we got to get ourselves on the map so they understand that we're between Waterville and Bangor. But, you know, it's an open market for them and very good for them right now. So hopefully we'll get a couple people at the elementary schools. We got 4 or 5 openings at the elementary schools and 3 or 4 at the middle school. A lot of special eds, but yeah, so we're trying to recruit, we're trying to fill the holes that we already have, no one coming into next year as we build the budget. Went to a community engagement out in Somerset the other day. It was very nice. I got a chance, but I brought one of my daughters, and she was recruited very heavily to end up at Somerset. It's all good. It's like now we're ready to go into spring, and all the schools do this time of year, so it's getting busy. And we have negotiations going on.
Perfect. Very good. And reports. Anything to add to?
I would say it's the science fair. If you haven't been to the science fair, that's tomorrow and the next day. That's always really cool. It's in the gym, and we do very, very well. I know there's a lot going on this time of year with jazz chorus and jazz stage and all that kind of things. But our kids are really busy with the science fair, so we get a chance to go in there. Really cool. And we also had some of our kids work on a STEM project that we presented to some teachers Monday afternoon, which was really neat. The stuff the kids are doing, sealed cells nowadays. Remember back when they drew a cell, you had to kind of like tag in all the things. Well, now these kids can plop it into a three-dimensional format, and you can watch it with the goggles, and it is truly amazing. And it will actually print out on the screen what parts of the cell that you're looking at, and it's 3D. And you print them out, and they do amazing things in science right now. Things that we're doing is amazing. So if you ever want to hear about some of those things and go see it, by all means, you will be amazed by what our students do.
Okay. And as Mike said, this is Music March Madness. Everything music comes in this month. So make sure to come to some of the concerts and some of the performances. You'll be surprised. And student representatives.
I'll go first. Really, to repeat what they just said, big time for the music programs. And next month we have the plays, so that's exciting. We also have Guard Day, so Miss Eisenhower and Miss Wilson bring people in from the National Guard. They bring in these weapons and these vehicles. It's a big deal, and they bring all this stuff in. It's really great for people, students that are interested in stuff, and it's really like they will answer any question. Like they're really good about that stuff. And we also have the College and Career Fair coming up. We get a lot of colleges and trades and all that stuff come in, and everyone really enjoys that. And as Mr. Hammer says, science fair, so that's really exciting. Yeah, Miss Briggs always gets a handful of kids they go to the college level. So do that.
Yeah, and to add on about the science fair, it's a really awesome opportunity for a lot of us because we can get scholarships out of it, really big ones, full boats. So I think it's a really good opportunity that our school has for students.
Any questions for the kids? Thank you very much. Moving on to reports of special committees.
As Mike said earlier, budgets meeting about every Monday at 5. The line item reports we've gone through so far, special ed, transport, IT, administrative stuff. Also, as he said, Monday we have the elementary schools. We're going through line item by Tuesday will be middle school, high school. Again, this is the time to really get in and ask these people penny for penny what it is. So encourage it, please show up. This is the biggest thing we send back to our towns and probably why we're all sitting here. Again, next meetings are Monday and Tuesday at 5.
Any questions for budget? Moving on to building.
The minutes from our last meeting are embedded in this one, but we reported out on those last meeting, so I won't say any more.
And of course, I'm not setting up my desk.
Education is next. So we had JMG do a presentation on middle school and high school. They focus on like leadership, career attainment, communication skills in the middle school, those kind of basic skills, but they also support our students that may have some trouble or barriers to education, whether it be they're just underperforming somewhere, or they have foster care, or any of these things that get in their way. GMG is a great program to help support those students, but we also found out that our high school GMG teacher doesn't stop when they graduate. She's supporting them at least 18 months after graduation, like staying in contact and following them through. So that's a great deal of work. It was a great presentation, so if you guys have any questions or want more info than what's in our notes, feel free to reach out to myself or anybody that's on the education committee. It was a great presentation. Mike has a folder there with all of the info there. But 2 great programs. I will say that it is a nonprofit program. GMG has been in the high school for 30-something years since they've started, and we only fund half of it. It's a partnership, so Nokomis is only funding part of it. We're in partnership with them, so we get a great deal out of it. And that's it.
I believe they said 31 years.
Yeah.
And our instructor's been here 18 of those.
Yes.
Any questions for education? Moving on to policy.
Policy Committee. Well, you can see by the report there, we have viewed and reviewed the vaping policy over and over again. And we have, for first reading, I believe we're recommending some changes to the discipline guidelines. And you'll see them outlined in yellow. And I'm going to leave Mike to explain what it is they have in mind.
Yeah, I mean, we do this at the committee a couple different ways. This is really trying to get into the restorative parts and pieces and give kind of the administrators a menu to kind of think about when these students get caught multiple times potentially with vaping, or it's the first time, or it's the conditions that it's under, you know, trying to do something restorative, trying to do something with the component for education. You hear about My Link, My Quit, and there's a couple other ones that the kids go through. A program of thinking more educationally about, you know, the effects of vaping, but also, you know, just meeting with a social worker, guidance counselor, screening with the nurse, those types of things. And before we had a little more scriptive, like this must happen, but listening to the administrators, the amount of meetings and some of the things could have been cumbersome, and putting, you know, screenings on the guidance counselors or the nurse or social worker was, you know, could be prohibitive if you know, that they don't have the ability to actually make that happen. So it's kind of, and then moving this back just to, I think part of what you've heard in my conversations was having this JPJICH, which is regarding alcohol policy, but kind of leaving that alone for now and moving this back and giving it a try in just the vaping policy if students, you know, violate this policy multiple times. Not saying that we wouldn't try to, if some of these things really work out well, we may integrate some of them into our drug and alcohol policy.
I would make a motion we accept for first reading.
Second.
Comment?
Nope, I'm just gonna motion for second.
There's a motion and second on the floor for the drug and alcohol policy.
You want to do accountability reporting at the same time as first read?
We can.
It just makes my note-taking a little easier.
So the other policy that we looked at that we're recommending for first read would be an update to accountability and reporting to the public. And that basically removes somewhat complicated language and replaces it with some simpler language and updates it to what the current law requires of us.
So your motion is to,
Except for first reading, ADC R1 and AEC.
second again. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Those opposed?
And for second reading, we have two policies that I believe we didn't have before, but now we will. Expense authorization and reimbursement, and travel expense authorization and reimbursement procedure.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and second on the floor. Any discussion?
I don't recall these coming to us last month.
Yep.
All right. It's faded out there.
I can tell you what they did.
All right.
Any other discussion? Seeing hearing none, all those in favor? Those opposed? It passes. No transportation committee. Negotiation.
We continue to negotiate, and we have our meeting next week.
Any questions for negotiation?
Which group are you negotiating with?
Teachers.
Anything else? Tri-County.
Yep, we have 35 students, or Tri-County has 35 students competing in 20 different events at Maine Skills USA. That's 13th and Thursday, Friday, 13th and 14th in Bangor. They purchased a fire truck with a grant. It's coming from Wesley. The past truck had been having problems with some of the pump issues, and they're going to try to make arrangements to keep it inside so that it will extend the vehicle's life. They've been involved in a comprehensive school review, and that was canceled due to a storm, and that we rescheduled for May. They are working on LD 436, which gives students more credits at why they attend at the tech center. Working with the principals and the sending schools to make sure that the credit is appropriate, but for some of those things that they take, for instance, criminal justice may be appropriate for somebody to get physical education based on the amount of work they do in their fitness period. They're working on the Tri-County Student of the Year, and also the Technical Honor Society is May 8th. Each year they work on a student interest survey, and I think this year they're thinking about some HVAC programs, and also another one, cosmetology is another big one. But they try to review those programs each year to see which ones still maintain interest with students and which ones need to be rotated out and funded in a regular budget. We're all both working on the budget. We looked at a first draft, but it is going to go back to MS 8046 for further refinement, hopefully come down. And then the regional draft, I have a concept one that I will share with the association and also the board before we vote on that the next couple months. Tri-County.
That is Tri-County. Any questions for Mike in Tri-County? Extracurricular ad hoc? We will be having a meeting shortly. We mentioned this for Mike. Shortly, I assure you. No old business and on to new business. Child and adult care food programs.
Yes, because we don't have after-school programs presently, each year we have, we have to make a motion to not have it, and then we'll have a motion to reinstate it, but it's something that we have to do through the food service program, so we just need a motion to discontinue it temporarily, until we have it at Somerset Elementary. Just a formality because we don't have after-school programs presently, nor are we providing any food.
I move that we suspend the child and adult care food program temporarily till reinstated.
Second.
Okay.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion on the motion? Being none, all those in favor? Those opposed? Okay. Staff resignations.
Yes, we have Jessica Burrows at Tech 3, it's Vasquez Valley Elementary School for personal reasons. Kristen Robinson server in Plymouth Regional High Middle School in another position. Angie Bovier Cook, personal reasons. Rita Vigno, special ed, Plymouth Regional High retirement. Scott Cowett, personal for Tech 3 at TBS. Appointments would be for information. Robert Sparrow Brooks is a custodian at Plymouth Regional High Middle School. And the transfer is Brittany Turner from EdTech 1 at Somerset to server at Commerce Regional High Middle School. June Rao from server at Commerce Regional High Middle School to server to Vasquez Valley Middle School. And Monique Osborne from cook to server at Commerce Regional High Middle School.
None of those require action.
Mike, is Rita Vigneault retiring or doing the contract?
Retiring.
Awesome.
Anything else?
I would plug one thing. The budget process is going to be very interesting. If you look at South Portland, they had a nice day left off. They We're laying off a tremendous amount of people. I talked to the superintendent in another district. He had 16 positions that he was eliminating. It just is going to be very difficult because we have those mandates from the state to increase our ed tech pay, which is good for the ed tech, but it makes it harder. We also have the 1% for, well, we have the percentages of unpaid leave, and it's just a tough time right now. So just keep your ear to the ground on our budget process. If you're not at those meetings, we'll try to bring you that information forward. I'm not anticipating, I'm not saying, please don't take my message that we're eliminating positions. What I'm saying is that we're going to have to look at things very, very carefully. We're trying to put our budgets together as tight as they possibly can at the elementary level. But you know this inside and out that 83% of our budget, at least, plus or minus, is people. And so when it increases, it filters all the way through. And so we want to keep the positions that we have, but they are going to cost more. So just pay attention because it's in the news. Right?
Stay tuned. Future agenda items, ad hoc committee. Anything else? Future agenda items.
Well, I have a question just regarding budget. I know what you just said about positions and student budget. But is a full-time nurse position for Aetna in the high school on the discussion at all for March 24th?
For March 24th, it'll still be on there. It probably will come up briefly next Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
See where we're at.
But it is
We get
being-
that under Alicia's.
Yeah, Alicia's budget.
but it is being discussed.
It will be, I think I've seen it, it'll still be discussed. We have not made that determination.
Every cycle.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Next meeting day?
8.
8? April 8th. Hearing nothing else, we are adjourned.